Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 2021 Co-op Career Mode Season 4 with me, Dan, and of course my co-commentator Nick. Intro graphics and other graphics by Matt Amis and Lom1138. Thank you to the both of those two. We're in round 3 today in Portimao, the second time this race is featured in any of our seasons. The first one, a very chaotic race running at the front of the field, many safety cars thanks to Nick. Hopefully we won't see too much destruction this time, as we only had 13 cars finish the race, which does make for some pretty difficult racing. And don't forget in the meantime to like the video, hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you know when the next race has been released. And we'll get on to the starting grid order in just a moment. Okay, so starting off with this race, we've got the two Red Bull drivers once again of Lando Norris and George Russell on pole position and second place, followed by the two Mercedes of Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton. Behind them, it's Carlos Sainz in 5th place, once again in the McLaren, and Yuki Tsunoda in the Ferrari in 6th. Then it's P7 Sergio Perez in his Alpine, and then Guan Yu Zhou once again in P8. Esteban Ocon, the other Alpine, in the top 10 once again, and Max Verstappen in 10th in his Williams. Then we have Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri and Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, followed by Nicholas Latifi and Radiant Slothz in the Alfa Romeo with his best qualifying of the season so far. Antonio Giovinazzi and Charles Leclerc follow them, Leclerc with an engine penalty. Then it's Justin FRESHPOT with another good qualifying in the HAAS, and Valtteri Bottas in the other Alfa Romeo. And, surprise, surprise, bringing up the rear, it's Nikita MAZEPIN and Mick Schumacher. Let's get on with today's Portuguese Grand Prix.
Radio Sauce P14, Justin FRESHPOT P17.
For the Portuguese
it's lights
Grand
out.
Prix.
Lando Norris on pole, side by side with George Russell. We don't see any of that battle. No one cares. We see Radiant Sloths.
There's dust
everywhere. And he crashes.
Justin FRESHPOT around the outside.
Justin FRESHPOT with an incredible move. Radiant Sloths has crashed one corner in. Justin FRESHPOT looking for another overtake. He's on the back of a McLaren now. He's almost in the points. He's 8 laps behind Pierre Gasly, but he's going for an overtake.
Radiant Sloths is called into the pits.
Retiring from the race.
Pierre Gasly, he's defending from Justin FRESHPOT. Justin FRESHPOT hits the Williams for no reason. Who's on the hard tyre?
Williams there. A maniac.
Radiant Sloths runs wide.
It's a drag race up the hill.
These two are fighting each other last season.
The AlphaTauri up the inside. The HAAS runs wide because it has no downforce or grip or power.
Latifi with a filthy move, forcing the HAAS off of the track. Or at least attempting to.
Hill side by side.
He hits him again. Nicholas Latifi is a cheap. Valtteri Bottas attacks the HAAS. None of them want to see him.
He always hits the Aston Martin. There's a Ferrari in there. Charles Leclerc not having a good race. The Aston Martin all over the road.
Unbelievable.
Maniacs.
Unbelievable scenes. Radiant Sloths comes round.
Last by a mile.
He's coming into the pits. And his teammates.
With Valtteri Bottas.
Bottas
it's
is in front of him.
An interesting strategy here from Alfa Romeo.
Not a good start to the Grand Prix for them. He's going to have to sit behind him and watch for this whole pit stop. We're not going to follow this thing. We go on board.
Cut back to more Radiant Sloths into turn 1. He's going to crash. We've seen it before. There it is.
Constantina'd into everybody. A poor start. This was Justin FRESHPOT's incredible start.
He gets the power down. The small amount of power he has. He's up to 7th. Can he make it to 8th? He does. He narrowly avoids the Aston Martin. Sweeps around the
track extend,
the outside
but the stewards are fine with that on this occasion.
Too many maniacs on the inside. Almost rear ends the McLaren, but doesn't.
Pierre Gasly forces the HAAS off the track. All of the drivers plotting against Justin FRESHPOT to try and stop him.
He looks for a move down the inside, but he thinks better of it. Then there comes the Williams. He gives him room on the outside. It's a drag race up the hill. And here we see he's under pressure from Giovinazzi.
No, he's not. Giovinazzi's 5 laps behind him. He's under no pressure whatsoever.
Charles Leclerc going for a move. They're both gaining on the HAAS.
And he's going to look up the inside, and Justin FRESHPOT shuts the door on Charles Leclerc.
Great driving here from the HAAS driver.
We'll see though. Charles Leclerc, he's going to get another turn as DRS coming up. Justin Freshpot's gone wide. Ferrari up the inside. He's defended.
Oh,
he can't.
Team
defend
orders
him.
Maybe from the engine supplier there, telling the Haas to get out of the bloody way.
Bloody not being the word
for
they
good
used.
measure.
Antonio Giovinazzi will be looking to follow the Italian team. In Justin Freshpot wide, Antonio Giovinazzi up the side. He hits the Haas for no reason whatsoever. He nearly does it again. Unbelievable.
Giovinazzi remembers he's Italian. He should let the Haas driver through.
He drives into Justin Freshpot again. He's up the inside. Justin Freshpot runs wide. Has to give up the position. It randomly jumps for no reason at all. And now Lance Stroll will chase him down.
Justin Freshpot doing everything he can in that Haas, but it's just not a fast car. He's dropping back.
Look at Stroll. He's on a much tighter line. The Canadian line. And this shouldn't be too difficult. He's going to get DRS.
Sparks flying from the Haas. He's run wide.
He's going to go defensive.
He's going to cover the inside.
He's doing a Schumacher.
Very close to the wall. He hits the Haas.
Unbelievable. A Haas
and
round
the
the outside.
holds it round the outside.
Quite rightly, after all of these cars have driven into him for no reason, he got 3 laps ahead of Lance Stroll with that move.
Somehow Justin Freshpot not spinning in the Haas when he spun here twice in the McLaren. Radiant Slothz 16 seconds behind Bottas.
Let's see what he can do here. He's coming in. Is he going to make a massive leap up the field? No, he hit the curb.
He's spun. He's spun. He's in the grass. He's sideways. He's on the racing line. He's burnt up his tyres. And he's got off again.
Big chunk of his front wing missing as well. Completely inexplicitly. Here come the race leaders, Lando Norris and George Russell. They will be hoping he gets out of the way particularly quickly. Unfortunately, Radiant Sloth still holds a grudge against Lando Norris, so has decided to leave it as long as possible to allow him through under blue flags. George Russell, just an innocent bystander in all of this, possibly because he replaced Radiant Sloths at Red Bull after the scandalous final race that he was involved in. But he'll have to get out of the way. Oh, and he doesn't get out of the way in time! The impatient Red Bull.
Accident. They're still faster.
There's
a safety car.
They've reduced all the drag on the Red Bull and it's much faster.
Box.
Justin Freshpot's going to come into the pits, take advantage.
Opportunist move here. He's ahead of some cars.
It's saved
Can
him
he jump some more
from Lance
with a
Stroll.
strategy?
Oh, poor Schumacher. He's coming behind Justin Freshpot. He's going to have to watch his teammate.
And the Haas team pull off a quick enough stop to get Justin Freshpot in and out before his teammate gets to the pit box.
Gotta say, it's probably unlikely, isn't it? Yep, there it is. He stopped at a very interesting angle. You'd have thought he'd have just driven forwards instead of doing this whole left-right bollocks. But
a massive traffic jam now.
Yep, there's been an accident
behind a Red Bull.
Shockingly,
can he make a move?
If breaking news, Daniel Ricciardo is leading a race. Can you believe it? Because I can't.
Justin Freshpot 9 minutes and 13 seconds behind George Russell, who's directly in front of him. He went for a move, but had to go back into the slipstream, as is the speed of the Haas. He's now being caught by Lance Stroll. He stays ahead. He doesn't get ahead of the Red Bull, though.
Will he take advantage of the slow AI? He does. He's up the inside
he's
of George Russell.
Out the inside.
There's Nicholas Latifi. He's going to get revenge on him for the earlier contact. He humiliates the Canadian, being overtaken by a Haas.
Up into 14th. He's not last.
George Russell going around the outside of Nicholas Latifi might help Justin Freshpot survive a little bit longer. Radiant Sloths has made up 2 positions on his teammate and Mick Schumacher. But now George Russell, he's going up the inside.
George Russell up the inside. Can Justin Freshpot hold it?
He's hit the Haas. He's hit the Haas as well. Conspiracy, I tell you. Conspiracy. Why are all these
everyone crashing into Justin Freshpot today? But I believe, due to drivers not pitting, he is in the points on net position. Can he keep this up?
An incredible feat, unless Nicholas Latifi plans on blowing his car up again.
Which he probably does, as he's Nicholas Latifi.
Nicholas Latifi is a maniac. He hits everyone. We saw this in season 1 and 2. He'll do it again, I'll tell you.
Somehow, Justin Freshpot's got a massive jump on Latifi, so he's probably not going to lose a position here. People have pit. Justin Freshpot is into the points position.
Radiant Slothz gets past Lance Stroll. Up the inside in turn
All
one.
Justin Freshpot needs to do is not run wide like that and not be overtaken for 7 laps, and he will score Haas's potentially only ever points.
He's doing all right. He's got Giovinazzi ahead in 5th. He will be holding up this train, which will definitely help him. This is the onboard of the restart. And you can see here, George Russell caught right up in the middle of it, is caught napping, as is Latifi.
Opportunistic on his terrible brakes in that car, but he manages to get up the inside.
Rumour has it that he's actually sticking his feet into the racetrack to slow his car down.
Radiant Slothz here behind Latifi. He better watch out.
He better watch out. He better not cry. Latifi will tell you why. And he comes down onto the pit straight. He's going to get DRS. Unfortunately, he's not going to get DRS because it's not turned on yet. So he's going to have to do this the old school way. And unfortunately, his car is way too slow. Rear end Latifi. Latifi would do exactly the same to one of us. I mean, one of them. We're not in the cars.
Good lock up there.
Let's Stroll rear ends him. For those of you wondering, Daniel Ricciardo back in the normal position in 13th. So crisis is over. As we see, Radiant Slothz. He's much closer to Latifi. Will he get DRS this time?
Keeping Latifi off the back of Justin Freshpot.
He does. He's going to go up the inside.
Side by side.
We've cut.
We've cut to the same camera.
Unbelievable.
Radiant Slothz goes up the inside. He crashes into Latifi slightly, and he's now behind Justin Freshpot. These two did crash here last season. Justin Freshpot massively wide, as is Radiant Slothz. Everyone's got DRS except for the Haas.
What's even worse is Max Verstappen is also up the road, and he crashed into these two last season as well. So, you know, if they can find 4.5 seconds, we could be on for a very interesting final few laps.
It's only 5 laps to go, and Justin Freshpot will get points if he doesn't get overtaken by everyone, as
I'm sure
goes for a very optimistic move.
I'm sure he just hit the back of the Alfa Romeo there, or at least the tyre, in what was clearly his fault.
Radiant Slothz here, though, doing an amazing job at protecting Justin Freshpot's points position. He's not putting the Haas under any pressure.
Both of these drivers scandalised at the end of the last season, lost their top-tier seats at Red Bull and McLaren. Maybe they've hatched a plan to try and win the championship together, and this is going to work for them. Although Lando Norris is winning once again, so I don't think it's going to last very long. Radiant Slothz runs wide.
Latifi.
Very close
Almost
again.
Contact. The Alfa Romeo stays ahead for now.
He's looking, he's sniffing all over the back of the Alfa Romeo. He's doing his best. Lance Stroll's over. Mick Schumacher's in 10th. When did this happen?
This could be an incredible race for the backmarkers, as the Ferrari, McLarens, Alpine, Mercedes are all outside of the points at the moment.
Red Bull.
Mazepin, of course, is DNF'd.
Of course he has. Mazepin carries with him the same Ferrari engines he had at Haas. Nicholas Latifi's got a good run on Radiant Slothz. He goes defensive.
Radiant Slothz has called Latifi the N-word and crashed into him. There's a safety car now. They've all crashed into the safety car. Radiant Slothz has lost his front wing. In incredible news, this will mean Justin Freshpot will get to almost the end of the race. Will he get points?
This
could be incredible.
He did the same move as Justin Freshpot earlier. Nicholas Latifi, though,
successfully
does not let him escape.
Yeah.
He's trying his best to get away. He ghosts, and that is how he escapes.
Radiant Slothz now in 12th.
Getting in everyone's way. We do have a safety car.
This will be 3 points on his licence. He comes into the pits.
Would you believe it, though? We had 2 seasons of Nicholas Latifi crashing into Radiant Slothz and Justin Freshpot. And now that they're in backmarker teams, once again, it's happening. Radiant Slothz has rejoined ahead of Latifi.
For Justin Freshpot to get Probably the most incredible result of his career, except for that one time in Williams where he got pole at Australia somehow. He's he's hunting Max Verstappen here. They're away.
He's
alongside already. He's had to go back behind because he's too slow. He's going alongside again.
He's still too slow. He can't get past
he's looking up the inside. No, he's thought better of it.
He's going to risk it. He's gone very wide there. There's an Aston Martin up the inside.
Aston Martin's gone up the inside. Can Justin Freshpot hold him off? He can. He's back ahead. There won't be any DRS now for the rest of the race.
Mick Schumacher still in the points as well. Oh, Stroll. He's trying his best. He does get the move.
Is Justin Freshpot going to let him go and just take what points he can? It looks like it.
He's got his teammate behind Carlos Sainz. He'll be doing his best.
Yellow flags waving. There should be no overtaking, but that McLaren is right up the back of the Haas.
There's yellow flags, but there's no one ahead of this pack, so we don't know what the yellow flags are actually for right now, and I think they've stopped, so it must have been nothing. As Carlos Sainz
driving the wheels off of that Haas. He's causing a massive train, but he's making his car as wide as he can. He does not want anyone getting past.
Max Verstappen says, thanks very much, mate. I'm going to go off. Lance Stroll also like 20 minutes behind Max Verstappen, and that is kind of accurate given that he only just got past the Haas.
I mean, now down the home straight under immense pressure from the McLaren. Justin Freshpot. He's gone to the inside. The McLaren goes to the outside.
We're on board now.
Side by side.
Carlos Sainz!
He's turned in. He's turned into Justin Freshpot. He's put him in the gravel and dropped him out of the points.
The conspiracy is he tries to reverse into the Haas.
He reverses into Justin Freshpot. Justin Freshpot has been crashed into by every driver at least twice during this race. He's dropped out of the points. The replay here coming into turn one. The Haas alongside Carlos Sainz just turns in.
He turns in. He's working with Bernie Eccleston to stop the Haas from scoring any points, as we see from Carlos Sainz. He looks. He knows the Haas is there. He looks to the right.
See him in the mirrors. The Haas alongside deserves some room. Carlos Sainz. Here, he tries to drive inside. He realises where the Haas is going. Goes to reverse into him. Luckily, the Haas avoids it.
Carlos Sainz thinking he's in an online lobby.
A massive sexist as Justin Freshpot picks up a disappointing P16.
Carlos Sainz crosses the line behind him, and Radiant Slothz.
Nearly
crosses the barrier. Decides he wants to go back to his garage early. He has survived though. As driver of the day goes to Charles Leclerc, which I guess is understandable because he started at the back with an engine penalty. Because apparently the Ferrari engines have that bad of reliability. And
Ian Horner celebrates Red Bull's 700th win this season.
Red Bull,
Lando Norris loves it.
The Red Bulls are white, even though we've only seen them as blue for this whole season so far. A bit shocking, but what can you do about that? They just love to change the colour of that car after they finish the race.
Podium. 2 Red Bulls, of course. Charles Leclerc with a dodgy podium.
You got to wonder.
He will be ignored by the other 2.
How the hell did he get up there? Charles Leclerc. Of course, this is the first race that he's actually not won so far, so bad luck for him. What the fuck was that?
New podium music.
So that's it for today's race, and unsurprisingly, reigning world champion Lando Norris has taken his first win of the season. He was followed by his teammate George Russell after both of them had a pretty chaotic mid-race. Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, the only winner of any of the races so far this season, rounds out P3, but still gets his podium, of course. Behind them we have Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, Lance Stroll, Mick Schumacher in the Haas, Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas and Yuki Tsunoda in the other Ferrari. How does this affect the Drivers' Championship? Well, Charles Leclerc's lead has been shrunk to just 5 points to Lando Norris in second. George Russell, a little way back on 36 points, has some work to do to catch up to the front 2. Then it's Yuki Tsunoda, Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll tied on 18 points. Guan Yu Zhou on 16. Then it's Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly, all separated by just 1 point between them, and only 1 point back to Esteban Ocon in P11. And over in the Constructors' Championship, of course, Red Bull are winning once again, followed by Ferrari. Then it's a big leap back to Mercedes and McLaren, who are in a fight with Aston Martin and Williams, potentially even Alpine for 4th place. And then we run all the way back to AlphaTauri, Haas and Alfa Romeo. We'll catch you in the next one.